Hi friends, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to give you the absolute beginner's list of supplies and tools you need to start making cards, and I narrowed it down to 6 tools. And I'm going to give you the total cost of all the tools at the end of the video, and I promise you it's not as much as you think. By the way, if you don't know me, hello, my name is Claire. I am the owner and creator of Rice Note, and I make handmade cards. If you want to see more videos like this one and you want to see the behind the scenes of being a content creator and a card maker, be sure to click that subscribe button and please like the video. So let's get started. Okay, so let's just say you're an absolute beginner and all you have is some cardstock and some stamps. And now you're like, okay, how do I make a cute card out of this? First, I would get a stamping platform. The great thing about a stamp platform is that it allows you to stamp over and over again in the exact same spot until you get it stamped perfectly. Without a stamp platform, you won't get precise and consistent placement of stamps on the paper. If the first impression is incomplete, say there's ink gaps in the image, you can reapply the ink and stamp it again in the exact same position to correct the image. It also makes the pressure you put onto the stamps disperse evenly, so the ink thickness is the same throughout the image for a professional look. The one that I use most often in my videos is by Vasen Creative. It's so easy to use, and this part is magnetic, so your card sticks on. And it's just small and compact, and I can take it with me wherever I go. I love having supplies that are small and portable. Next, going along with stamping, you gotta get yourself a good black ink. Black will be the color you use most often. I use it in almost every single one of my cards, so you want your ink to be really good quality. A high quality black ink produces a sharp, clear, and defined images and text, enhancing the overall appearance of the card. Also, they're more often resistant to fading, smudging, and bleeding, ensuring that the card remains visually appealing over time. The black ink that I like to use is by VersaFine. There are probably a lot more high quality inks out there, but this one does the job just fine and it's very affordable. Next, and probably the largest investment you will make in card making, is the die cutting machine. I have this one by Sizzix. It's called the Big Shot and it's 6 inches. Because all I'm making is cards, the 6-inch size is perfect, but if you plan on making some bigger projects, you might want to opt for the 9-inch or a bigger size. All this tool does is manually roll your cardstock and die through 2 metal rollers in the machine, and it will cut through the paper, perfectly framing your stamp. This, in my opinion, is what makes your card look professional. Instead of cutting images out by hand, having a coordinating die with your stamp is what makes people look at the card and be like, how did she cut that out so perfectly? Or is it a sticker? They don't know what it is. And then, to go with the die cutting machine, my recommendation is to get some nesting dies. Nesting die sets are basically framing dies that you can use to create frames or layers on your card. The great thing about nesting dies is that it fills up space on the card. The layers can add color and adds a depth to your card. There are so many creative possibilities with nesting dies, such as shaker cards, making windows, making interactive elements, making shapes, the list goes on. There are so many to choose from out there, but the best one to start out with is the rectangle nesting dies. This one is from Hero Arts. It's called Infinity Dies. Basically, it starts out with a large rectangle. It's a bunch of dies that get smaller and smaller and smaller. That's why it's called a nesting die. If you want to get fancy, you can do a scalloped shape. This one is like a dome shape. You can see the layers. Or this one I love. It creates like an eyelet shape. It's both scalloped and has little holes, and it creates a beautiful frame. But for the purpose of this beginner's list, we're gonna go with the classic rectangle nesting die. If you made it this far in the video, please comment rice cakes, and thank you so much for being interested in what I have to say. Also, let me know down in the comments what inspired you to make cards, or if you haven't made a card yet, who would you send your first card to? Supply number 5 is my favorite adhesive, my handy dandy tape roller. This thing will glue my mental health back together. No, I'm just kidding. But I use this thing for pretty much all my cards. It's convenient, mess-free, and so easy to use. You can get a precise and controlled application, and unlike liquid glue, it minimizes the risk of getting glue smudges on your card or sticky fingers, and pretty much keeps your card clean and dry. It also has a very strong adhesive bond, so your paper will be secured in place. They're portable, lightweight, and they're just practical and efficient. And you can get a whole pack for pretty cheap. Now that doesn't mean I don't like normal glue, which brings me to my final product, precision glue. Technically, this is 2 products because I purchased the glue and got the dispensers separately, but I'm gonna combine it as one. This is what you wanna use when it comes to detailed and intricate designs. First and foremost, it will give you the most precise placement of the glue. Using liquid glue can get messy and sticky very fast, but this helps minimize the mess. You have total control of where the glue is applied and how much glue comes out with this fine needle tip. Unlike the tape roller that is a one and done, once you stick it on it doesn't budge, the liquid glue gives you a little bit of wiggle room, pun intended, to move the paper around to get it to the perfect spot before the glue dries. Also, because such a small amount of glue comes out, there's no wasting of glue, so it is a very economical choice in the long run. Just a reminder though, remember to put the cap back on when you're finished with your card, or else the glue in the tiny needle straw will dry out and it is very hard to unclog the dried glue. Okay, now adding everything up, it totals to $190.98 if you get it off of Amazon, which in my opinion is not that much compared to other crafting styles such as painting or sculpting or pottery. And 3 out of the 6 tools I mentioned today are one-time purchases. You can use them over and over and over without needing to restock. So the die cutting machine, the stamping platform, and the nesting dies you can use unlimited times for the entirety of your crafting career. And the black ink, the precision glue, and the tape runner you will have to restock over time depending on how many cards you make. But these are the less expensive of the 6. So overall, I do not think it is a really expensive hobby. A lot of the supplies that you purchase are one-time purchases. The only thing that you really use up is the paper, the adhesives, and the inks that you use. But those supplies that you use are not as expensive as, say, acrylic paint or oil paints or like polymer clay, for example. I really hope that you found some value in this video. Please let me know what you'd like me to talk about or show next. And I hope you get your cardio in today. That was so